Hello and welcome to the Win, Learn or Draw podcast. Win, Learn or Draw because the Tigers never lose. They either win or they learn. Sometimes they draw. On the weekend, Saturday night, they headed up to the Cauldron, Suncorp Stadium, and they learned in a good way. They learned. Every learning is a good thing. They learned 46 to 24. And as we do every week, we're going to have a 30-second-ish wrap from the great man, Hammy Goodman. So, Hammy, I've got the timer ready to go this week.
Fantastic. Well, you're learning. That's what this segment's all about.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hopefully not too many more lessons, but let's hear about the lesson that we learned at the Cauldron on Saturday night. Take
all
it
right.
away.
I've got quite a few notes here, so I'm going to do my best to sum it up in 30 seconds or less.
Go for it.
All right. Tigers head up to the 11th wonder of the world, one of our 5 home grounds for 2025, Suncorp Stadium, for an away fixture against the Broncos. Not the best start for the boys as we concede an early try to Jesse Arthurs. Did he ground it? Did he not ground it? Not for us to say, except that he definitely didn't ground it. The boys hit back through Luke Lualili off a brave first tackle kick from Lockie Galvin. A brilliant play from Buller puts Taruva over in the corner off a dropout. Tigers on top for the duration of the first half until 5 minutes before the break. Willison scores. Reynolds sinks a 2-point field goal. We hit the halftime break. Whatever Madge says at the halftime break, clearly strikes a chord. 40-20 to Hunt in the first set backs. Willison over again off the same set. A Reynolds chip and chase try. Goes off with a Hammy after a kick for goal, but the damage has been basically done. Sione Fine who scores to give us a pulse before Arthur scores another one. Walters scores off a forward pass, and the second best goatee on the field, Shibasaki, puts it beyond doubt. Late conso for Stafford Toa. The Tigers learned 46-24, but can still win the comp because we didn't concede 50. How'd I go?
You did it.
Did I?
In a minute.
Okay.
So
There was a lot to pack in.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There was actually 7 tries to 5 in that game.
Yeah.
So you talk about learning up there, but so walking away from Suncorp Stadium with 5 tries under your belt's pretty bloody good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not a lot of conversions, but
No, there wasn't. I noticed that and look, when you're a team like us who are, making our way up the ladder, making our way back to the top 16, you do need to goal kick, at elite level.
Yeah, you're right.
We had 3 different goal kickers for the first 3 shots of goal.
That's right.
And
0, 0,
none
0.
of them sunk one. So after giving Brett Hodgson and the team a rap last week, maybe one for them to learn from this week, because obviously Talon De Silva came on kick to like Jonathan Thurston from the sideline.
Yep.
Maybe that's one that we look at for this week when we're preparing for the Knights game. But look, overall, I think, we lost and it looks like a heavy defeat on the score sheet, but I think there was probably a period before, 5 minutes before halftime, 5 minutes after halftime. You take that out, and that was an issue for us in years gone by. That kind of red zone has been where we've really excelled this year, but wasn't the case on Saturday.
That's right.
And probably ends up costing us the game.
Yeah, definitely. It was that little period either side of the halftime that really, really hurt us.
Yep.
There was a standout, though, in the game, and it would be remiss of me not to mention the Waka Noodles Play of the Week this week. Spicy Play of the Week.
Yeah.
God, can't forget that word. Also can't forget to mention they are the #1 wet noodle in Australia.
Yep.
You can get them at Coles for $3.
Can you?
Yeah, you
shop,
can get
shop around. You can't beat that.
you can get udon wok ready noodles, 440 grams. Was $3.50, now $3. So
You're kidding.
Yeah, very, very good.
That's less than 1 cent a gram.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't expect, right?
No.
Yeah, especially wet noodle.
#1 wet noodle brand as well.
Now the spicy play of the week. It goes to none other than Taruva for his try. The spicy version of it, though, was Doreen Buller's break.
Yeah, it was.
So Reynolds goes for a cheeky kind of driven dropout.
Yep.
Adam Dewey's back there to clean it up. Even AD does this nice little in and away move, draws in a few defenders, goes over to Terrell May. Terrell May sums up the situation perfectly. Throws a ball that a front rower throws, but it ends up being an absolute beauty.
Yep.
Jack Gashevsky gets left in Buller's wake. Now,
you had some fairly frank feedback about Jack Kajewski in the orange room before we went. I don't know if you'll roll with it again on the show, but a fairly frank assessment of how he read that play.
Look, I'm not an NRL player, so I can't really comment on NRL. Why was it close?
Could have if I wanted to.
Could have if I wanted to. If I was probably, 15 kilos heavier and faster and stronger and better at footy, maybe. But Jack Kashevsky, geez, that was rough going, mate. Buller made you look like quite the fool. I thought he did pass a little bit too early to Taruva on the outside. Walsh has got
Dan Ganane as well, he said on the call.
Yeah, I did hear Big Ganane say that. But Walsh is absolutely lightning. He gets across to Taruva, but Taruva is a natural born finisher.
Yeah, he is.
He knows how to finish a play. So there you go. Wacanoodle Spicy Play of the Week. Sania Taruva, Buller, Terrell May, and Dewey. A joint effort there for me.
A three-way Spicy Play of the Week.
Yes. More three ways. In the wet noodles, the better. So
we've always said that on the show.
Congratulations to all those players.
Yep.
Now, like you said, either side of halftime, it was a bit of a lesson. But there was a lot of good things to take out of that game.
There was, certainly was. Just flicking through me notes here. Look, I thought that Lockie Galvin had another whale of a game. You could almost Control C, Control V that every week, couldn't you? But I think particularly the bravery when we had a lot of field position up their end at the start of the game. We got a 6 again, and he still kicked on the first tackle.
That is bravery.
Lua Lili, I thought he was excellent. That was really brave.
Yep.
What else have I got here? Yeah, Buller, Electric. We've just touched on that in the Spicy Play of the Week. I thought Stafford Toa had a great try as well.
Yep.
He's having a good season so far. Toa.
He is.
We've spoken about season's gone by. I think we mentioned this on the show last week. He's kind of he played one good game and then have a couple of quiet ones. Another good one. It's kind of 7 or 8 out of 10 every week at the moment, which seems
to be building on his consistency, even within the games as well. Because sometimes he might have some really spectacular moments, whereas other times he drops off and kind of, I guess, doesn't really switch on for a little bit. But if we can get him, 80-minute player every week, then he's going to be the next GI. We've already called it here on this podcast. So I think I'm confident in saying that.
Some said we went a little bit early, but I stand by our comments.
Some did.
Yep.
Well, they're wrong.
Clowns. De Silva came on a little bit earlier this week than normal. Appy went off after 25 minutes, but we didn't really feel like we missed too much of a beat. Like the energy kept coming, the ball kept moving forward. He took some really good runs. I think he's really improving as well, which is exciting. So look, I thought those guys were great. The big battle we will touch on in the set of 6 is Terrell May. I thought he was fantastic up against Payne Haas as well.
For sure.
Look, those are the guys that probably stood out the most for me. I thought Latu finally showed some great signs. Before
I was going to ask, what did you think of his performance filling in for Luai?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, a little bit of he's thrown into the deep end a little bit. Probably not many tougher places to travel than Suncorp, but
True.
I thought he was all right. Then he got a heavy hit and unfortunately wasn't able to see out the game. It would have been great to see how he kind of went with the full 80 under the belt. But,
for sure. Yeah,
I thought he was pretty good. Anyone for you that really leapt off the page?
No, I think you've called them all out, mate. I'm very, like I said, in the spicy noodle section, very impressed with Taruva's finishing. I think he's been a great addition. I know there's lots of talk around Terrell May being the signing of the season. And I like I said in the pod last week, I think he might be close to the best, over a small sample size, the best signing the Tigers have ever made. So, impressed for the most part. And we'll touch on it in the set of 6 as well. Just really impressed that the Tigers are now hanging in there in most games. Not conceding 50 in that game.
Can still win the comp. That's the biggest learning. If you take one thing home from this episode 6 of Win, Learn or Draw, West Tigers can still win the comp in 2025.
And can still finish top 16.
Yeah, that's the key one for me as well.
That's the bigger achievement.
2 other very quick shout-outs. All the boys were great, but wanted to give a shout-out to Alex Twal, with the exception of one handling area when he came on when Terrell May went off, and we probably needed him to keep it going. Apart from that, everything else, very, very good. Strong run over the ball. Defended really well as well. He's just been outstanding.
What about an intercept as well? What about his intercept?
Just reading the play. Another dimension he's added to his game. Interceptor, which we love, off the Reece Walsh quadruple cutout pass on the 10-metre line. An interesting choice.
Speaking of passes, just quickly, what about that Billy Walters try? Do you think that was the most forward pass I've ever seen in my life?
There's a bit of feedback on that in Raw Emotion. When we get there,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. It's coming up towards the end of the show. Raw Emotion, where we love to hear your thoughts on the game. Keep those coming through. Some very good ones this week. But there is a bit of feedback on that pass. Right. The only other guy I wanted to give a shout out to, and he was a late addition, Tony Sukkar.
He hung in there, didn't he?
Big
tries his hardest.
He is an enormous human being.
Yeah, he is.
And also jacked. And also tackles at 95.65%, which we love to see.
That's pretty good.
So I thought he was great. Came into the squad after Samuel Afine was ruled out after that horrific exercise bike injury that he incurred last week at Campbelltown.
Maybe a little bit worse than we first thought.
You got to be careful around those things.
Can't be doing wheelies in Campbelltown and not get injured.
You can't. As much as you see it out and about around that part of the world, don't try it at home or on the sideline.
They're professionals.
They are trained. They've grown up with it. So, you know. Look, the boys, some good performances in there, but and plenty will learn from it as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mate, let's get stuck into that set of 6.
Yeah, before we do get stuck in, how was Adelaide? And happy birthday for yesterday.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, cheers, everyone.
Yep.
Thanks, Maddie.
Yep.
I've had a good weekend down in Adelaide. I went to McLaren Vale. Tried a few red wines, a few whites, rosé or 2.
Okay.
Ended up at karaoke.
What did you sing?
I always go for Dancing in the Dark.
Yep.
That's my go-to. And
no, they didn't have orange, white, or black. We're back.
Not on the books yet, no.
Okay.
But I did ask.
Yep. Well, we'd lost as well. It's a song that's supposed to be sung after a Tiger win. So.
Hard in Adelaide too.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of an AFL kind of city. But had a couple of beers yesterday at Hamley Beach as well. Got back pretty late last night. Yep. It was lovely little trip. Thanks, mate.
Welcome back. And that brings us to our first edition of Win, Learn or Draw in the Wild. Now, we want to make this a thing. If you see one of us in the wild, either take a photo or dob us in on the DMs. But shout out to Alex Moore, who's replied to one of our bits of content over the week saying, just spotted the great Elliot Morton enjoying some of South Australia's best wine, Omen, Tigers 13 plus. So,
you must have meant for this weekend against the Knights.
Yeah, I think it must have been. I only read it today, so I'm taking it for this weekend.
Perfect. Yeah. Hello, Alex M. Wish you came over and gave me maybe a tiger claw or
give us a claw as well. If you see us out in public, don't be shy.
A growl. We seem to get a lot of growls in Raw Emotion last week. So
keep them coming.
Anything tiger related.
Yep.
Maybe even hunt. Or hang around and prowl like a tiger.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, anything that
whatever
floats
you're
your
comfortable
boat.
with. Yeah, but keep them coming. So Win, Learn or Draw in the Wild. Alex M, thank you for creating a new segment for us. But you should have gone and shared a glass of South Australia's finest with
maybe I was a bit messy for him. Maybe you don't want to go and meet someone when they're like that.
How old did you turn?
35.
Yeah.
The same as Ben Hunt, I believe. And like you said before, I'm not an NRL player, but I could be still because he is. So
giving you a bit of hope. You don't look a day over 34.
Oh, I appreciate that, Hammy. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Let's go. Set of 6.
Let's do it.
May versus Haas, tackle 1. So this was going to be a Goliath versus Goliath battle.
Yep.
An absolute juggernaut off. What did you think of the battle?
I thought it was excellent. Now, they both played very good footy, both a genuine handful, for either side. But they both, to an extent, probably kept each other a little bit quieter than they had been in previous games. This was for both players the least metres they'd run all year. They both came in around the 140 mark, which is still excellent returns.
Yep.
But I think just because they're going so hard at each other and they're up in each other's face a lot, probably from that perspective kept each other a little bit quieter than they otherwise have been, but still made 32 tackles, just the one missed in the middle. An absolute handful, had a couple of offloads as well. Terrell May, I think doing his origin hopes no harm at all with a big performance, and this was one of the big battles that was kind of identified leading into the game.
Sure.
And I think he did a great job, and it's probably, as I said, the quietest that we've seen Payne Haas all season.
I mean, as a bit of a Supercoach nerd, I always look at Supercoach scores as a pretty good indication of how someone has performed, and Haas only got in the 50s, which for him is pretty way below par actually. Yep. And then Terrell May also just in the 60s, whereas he's been pumping out 80s, 90s. So pretty good indication that they were both kept pretty quiet. And obviously that middle third was an important thing that we spoke about last week. And I think Carrigan was kept pretty quiet as well. So I know Jensen and Willison scored a double, so he wasn't kept too quiet. But
Willison was after being given the Mr. Burns coaching treatment, trim those sideburns. He'd obviously been asked to trim his mullet, and which he's a bit of a tyrant. Old Madge, he's told him to put the shirts back on at training. He's told him to trim the mullets, but hey, it's paying dividends in the results, isn't it? Because he obviously went over for 2 tries and looked pretty dangerous. But a couple of those guys in the middle were good. Carrigan, he was solid, 170 metres, but some of his short passing through the middle, and that's a little dimension to his game that is, not many forwards have got that.
Yep.
That really causes some issues, I reckon, that they got through the middle a couple of times there in the second half. But, aside from Carrigan, I thought the rest of them were kept reasonably under control.
Yep, sweet. All right, tackle 2. Mentioned it in the prelude.
Yep.
The effort of the Tigers. Now, I don't want to sound like English cricket, but we've been trying really hard, and we're almost there. We can take a leaf out of England cricket's book and maybe be like, we're losing, but we feel good about it.
Yeah.
Or learning, but feeling good about it.
Feeling good.
One of my favourite Twitter accounts or X accounts is NBWT.
Yep.
Nothing, that stands for Nothing But West Tigers. And they've tweeted, no one likes moral victories, but West Tigers have been in all 5 contests so far. Player availability has bitten them every week, but decent sample size to suggest they've taken quite a few steps forward in a number of areas compared to the Spoon era of 2022 to 2024.
Yeah,
so
the 3-peat era. So you're claiming the moral victory?
I mean, no.
Yeah.
22 points is a little bit too far off claiming a moral victory, but...
I was going to say Piers Morton all of a sudden.
Don't ever say that. But Nothing But West Tigers, he's got 32,000 tweets and Nothing But West Tigers. So like all those channels and Nothing But Cats on The Simpsons. So
love an account that does what it says on the tin. Go
exactly.
NBWT.
Yeah, it covers all the grades as well, from Jersey Flag, all the stuff, knock-on effect cup. So very good stuff. But I think that the call out there is the fact that we are just giving it a massive crack and we aren't folding like Origami. Another reference for the Japanese listener there.
Yes, shout out to him.
We're hanging in there every week, and the scoreboard didn't really reflect that game, did it? Like, with those misconversions and that rough period either side of halftime. I think if we have a full strength squad, we go close to winning that.
I think so. And Jesse Arthur's also bounced that first one, which was
and Royce Hunt with the pole, coming in over the top there.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Honestly. Geez, talk about rolling out the red carpet. The Brisbane Broncos play at 8 p.m. on a Friday, like 90% of the season, and then they get all those calls on the weekend as well. Yeah. Honestly.
Refs are against this.
I don't know how you sleep at night, Broncos fans.
I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think they do. I wouldn't.
No.
Tackle 3.
Yep.
Hammy. How was behind the roar?
Yes.
Imagine telling a young Hammy Goodman, you'll be on the official West Tigers podcast one day.
He would not have believed you. He wouldn't have believed you. Had a great time out there. Now, shout out to, obviously, Langy, friend of the show, Mia, Tommy and Lockie, out there for facilitating it all.
Yep.
Had a ball. Go and check it out if you haven't already. Great to be there in the Centre of Excellence, in the podcast studio. They're doing a great job with a bit of a new look behind the Raw this year.
Yeah, for sure.
It was great to just get in there and, Lockie and Shaq, who were also guests on the pod, like a bit of an optimistic kind of vibe about the club this year.
Good to see you on Behind the Raw, mate. Good to know that you're a friend of the club now. The club's a friend of you.
It's us. We are a friend of the... Right. We're in the inner sanctum now, so...
Well, they couldn't fit me and Shaq TV on because we're both big influencers.
Salary cap.
So, yeah, I understand that. So, all good, Langy.
Yep.
Tackle 4.
Yep.
Afterwards?
Yep.
I'm assuming they took you for a little run around the facilities?
Actually, before.
Oh.
Which I thought was fantastic.
To get you in the mood.
Yeah, little tour of the Zurich Centre, the Centre of Excellence, which is fantastic.
Waka-noodle, Singapore noodle hookups?
Not as much as I would have liked.
But I don't know if they're involved with the club anymore.
No, they're not, but they'd always be welcome back. I don't want to speak on behalf of the club, but as a part of the inner sanctum, I could probably pull for your strings to Waka-noodle. Want to put me in touch with Langy or something?
Yeah.
No, I had a great time. The tour of the facilities was fantastic. Now, they are state-of-the-art at the time. They were hyped up as state-of-the-art. They are nothing short of that.
Yep.
The attention to detail through the change rooms and the cold plunge, warm plunge, the tiling, it's all orange and black.
Oh, right.
Which is nice.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
Because we're orange and black.
We're orange and black. It's
gotcha.
a synergy with the club.
Gotcha.
Which is good. Got to see the mural as well with Luai and all that sort of stuff, which got unveiled at the start of the season.
Very nice.
Got to meet a few former greats who are still involved with the club. Johnny Scandalis was very busy in the club the other day. But
he's always cutting around.
Made time to come and interact with all of us.
Was he in his Ringers Western suit?
No, he didn't have the jacket on.
Okay.
But he was immaculately dressed. Like, that's what you'd expect from
He
Scando.
looks fit, Johnny Scando.
He's looking fit as a fiddle. They got
a
gym in there, which the staff can use, all branded up.
Did you get your hair cut there, the barber?
Oh, now, look, too soon.
Oh, sorry.
Now, I did ask about this, and I was shown by Tommy. He took me, he goes, this is where it was.
Okay.
So I saw exactly where it was. And it was in a place that makes sense. It was like you could see a kind of chair sitting there because it was in front of like a mirror and a bit of an area. But, Richo made the call. He goes,
got to respect Richo's call.
Around. He literally said, I'm taking away the fringe benefits until we make the top 16. So the barbershop goes out. I'm on board. Let's get back where we need to get to before we think about the haircuts at the club again. But had a great tour, which was fantastic. Brady Hodgson, got to meet him as well.
Wow.
Big moment. A little bit nervous, but
how big is he?
Bigger than I thought he would be, to be honest. Yeah, a bit taller than I thought. And the big one that I got to meet as well, Shannon Gallant.
Mighty Mouse.
The Mighty Mouse. Now,
wow.
you know, not only elite fullback of the club, should have played a lot more, but also we credit Shannon, and I'm sure others, but Shannon was, you know, in charge of the Pathways program, got Lockie Galvin over to the club.
Wow.
Now he's got a big job on his hands trying to, I suppose, help keep him at the club as well. But thanked him for his service, thanked him for getting Lockie over. And it was just great to get in there and kind of, you know, meet the team and some of the membership teams and marketing teams. Now, can you guess what the talk of the town was in there? And a lot of them have listened to the podcast and like what we're doing here at Win, Learn or Draw. So we thank them for that. What do you reckon their favourite part of the podcast has been so far?
It has to be raw emotion, hearing from the fans.
Well, that's, you know, I would have thought that would have featured towards the top.
Damn, I thought actually
the 3 or 4 plugs of the 20% off discount for Ham's Paint that you get if you become a member.
What?
Last week. Yeah, Langy was chuffed with that one.
Hold on. 20%?
Yeah. Did I stutter?
I thought it's already affordable. It's already, like bang for your buck.
Really well competitively priced in what is a highly competitive market of paint.
Yeah.
Not that you should need another reason to become a member of the West Tigers, but if you do, just a reminder, 20% off Hames Paints. Now, if you want to paint your house orange, white and black, wear back or any other colour of your choice, sign up as a member. Get yourself down to Hames Paint, enjoy the 20% discount and support the club.
So non-members don't get it?
No, God no.
Okay.
No way.
You can't like fake being a member either.
They should have to pay 20% more as far as I'm concerned.
I totally agree.
20% tariff.
Members of other NRL clubs, if they walk in there.
Whack them with the tariff.
Tariff.
No, they're not tariff operators. They're not going to do that to you because they're great people down there.
They are great people.
But if you want the best price on Hames Paint, look no further than becoming a West
Australia's #1 wet paint as well. So it does dry though.
It does
eventually.
dry.
You can watch it.
Yep.
But 20% off Hames Paint. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm glad to know that they love that segment. Maybe we should bring it in a bigger capacity. But
we can do an ongoing segment. Paint the town orange with Win, Learn,
you're a smart guy.
Call Langy later. Tee that up for us.
I will. Give him a buzz. Tackle 5.
Yep.
Possibly, well, in my opinion, most important tackle of the set.
Yeah.
There was a bit of content we put out on TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
Bit of a
they nearly had to bloody pull TikTok down. The content weren't that well.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian-esque, broke the internet-esque kind of numbers we pulled on that one.
Yep.
It was the top 05 that we did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Players that you didn't remember might have played for the West Tigers.
Yep. A great piece of content, expertly led by yourself.
Thank you.
All I did was sit there and react. Sat back and watched from a distance.
You're good at that though.
Yeah,
appreciate
what
it.
I do best.
Yeah,
a great top 05 countdown. If you haven't seen it, get out from under your rock and go and check it out on TikTok. 20,000 views and counting. But yeah, there was a bit of heartbreak in the comments. Mort, you touched on this, and look, I thought why not air out a bit more dirty laundry here and bring it to the surface on the pod. We had a comment come in from Lewis Trey. Now, Lewis said, "I'm 52." And a lifetime Tigers fan. And my shit for brains brother got married on grand final day 2005. So I was at his wedding on grand final day. Angry swear face emoji.
5.
He's got 5 on him. So he's pissed off.
He's got 05.
05 swear face emojis. Now this is where Diddley Squat jumps in the comments. And he said he better still be married. Now this is where it really kicks off from Lois. He goes, no, they split up and divorced. Plus, the arse is a fucking Manly fan. So, look, apologies for the profane language, but that's I'm just quoting from TikTok. So, heartbreak in the comments. Not only has Lois missed out on a Lois or Lewis?
Lewis for sure. Yeah.
He's 52. He's missed out on the one West Tigers grand final / premiership. But the couple that he's missed it for, they're no longer together. Just throwing a bit of salt in the wounds. You wouldn't read about it, would you?
Yes. I mean, he's probably going to get another chance to watch him next year when he's 53 in a grand final.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe not this year, but next year is good. Although
only lost by 46. So
also, I saw a stat that years that end in 5, West Tigers have won 50% of comps
this century.
Yeah, as a West Tigers, we've won 50% of comps at NM5. So this could be
we're
our
due
year.
for one, aren't we?
Could be our year. So hang in there, Lewis. I reckon you'll be able to see another one unless your shit for brains brother gets married again on grand final day this year. But
wouldn't put it past him.
No. Hey, speaking of heartbreak, I read today the Tigers have officially / unofficially, reports are pretty strong, exited the race to go to Vegas. Now, we were talking about this on podcast 1, I think, and we were kind of settled with the fact that that's okay. Let's get our house in order or more order before we head over to the Sin City.
Sin Bin City.
Sin Bin City. I get it, but it's just a little bit disappointing to hear because we're a big club.
Huge club.
We would draw in so many fans over there.
Huge
and
club.
Good fans too.
Great.
Not fans that biff each other like South Sydney.
No, that's right. They should be banned for life. Huge club. Great following on social. In fact, one podcast just put up a clip that got 20,000 views on TikTok, I'm being told. So
you're kidding.
Yeah.
That's Kim Kardashian break the internet numbers.
It is. It really is. Look, disappointed to see we're not going. I think, as I said on pod 1, though, don't mind this from Richo.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on what's important first and foremost. And for the time being, that's getting back in the top 16.
For sure.
Let's get back there. Then let's worry about painting the town orange in Las Vegas. So I think once we've locked that down, confirmed that to be the case, I think we're tracking well. A few little wobbles in the last couple of weeks, but once we crack back to the top 16, we'll go to Vegas the year after.
Good.
So just stay patient, Tigers fans, would be my take-home message for the time being.
A couple of top 16 contenders got wins on the weekend, unfortunately.
They did.
Parramatta and Redcliffe. So...
we've got to keep them at bay. We've beaten them both, though, haven't we? We've showed them who's boss so far.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Tackle 6, last one. Haven't got the kick away. We're going to run it on the last. Might get caught for tackle 6. The West Tigers, all-time fan-voted team. So when we say all-time, we're talking about 2000 to 2025. I want to run through it from top to bottom.
Okay.
And I'd love to get your commentary on it too, Hammy. Brett Hodgson, friend of the show and friend of Hammy at number 1.
Close personal friend, Brett Hodgson. Couldn't have thought of a better fullback.
Do you call him Reddy or Hodjo?
Hodjo.
Okay. Wingers, a friend of yours, Taniela, too big, too strong, too lucky?
Well, I wish we were close up, but we do follow each other on Instagram. So really good start and an excellent choice. What a great career. Cut short, tragically. But, hell of a player and my favourite growing up.
On the other wing, Paddy Richards.
Love it.
There's actually how many people voted for each of these people and where they ranked, and Pat Richards was the 3rd most popular inclusion in
on
the
West
podium.
On
the podium. So well done, Paddy. Centers, Paul Fatawira and Chris Lawrence.
You can't argue with that. Honourable mention to Shane Elford. Would have loved to have seen him in the extended squad, but you can't fit them all in.
And Joel Reddy too. He must have been close.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, Joel. Halves, no brainer. Benji and Scott Prince. Top 2 voted players in.
Was Benji number 1? He would have been number 1.
Benji was number 1. He got 98% of votes.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Who's the 2%?
Tom Humble.
Jacob Miller.
Sit down, be humble.
Front rowers, Big Keefe and your mate Scando.
Close personal friend Scando, I call him.
Robbie Farah. I saw him at the airport on Friday.
Send my regards?
I was on the phone.
Okay.
So I wanted to go say good day to him.
Teeing up some
songs. I was trying to tee up some wok noodles. But no, I was on the phone, so I couldn't go say good day. But I when I got back, my wife was like, you should have gone and said good day.
So this is in Sydney Airport or Adelaide?
Sydney Airport. Okay. He was walking back. He must have just arrived on Friday night.
Could have been anywhere because he runs a successful touring sport tour business. So
that's true.
Go and check it out.
Geez, he looked good though. I think he stayed fit.
He has stayed fit.
Yeah, he looks really good.
And a deserved number 9 in there.
Deserved number 9. No brainer there. He was the 5th most voted ball player.
Happy with that.
Back rowers.
Great back rowers here.
Liam Fulton. The most versatile back rower in history. I think 300 games. Am I right in saying that?
Ooh, pretty close, I reckon.
Maybe two to 300, but all for the West Tigers. Gareth Ellis.
Oh, yes.
What a player. The 4th most voted player.
Was he?
Yeah.
Happy with that.
And then we had Chris Hollington locking the scrum.
Old potty mouth from the grand final interview.
Swear jar.
That's an exceptional back row. That stands up.
Really good back row. It's kind of that really cream of the crop era of the West Tigers, 2009, 2011. So well done to all that. Starting team on the bench, we've got Teddy,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, should have played. Well, if you wanted to make the starting team, should have stayed longer. In my feedback to Teddy.
That's very true.
Yep.
Toddy Payton, Woodsy,
one
of the greats.
Yep.
And Lottie Takiri.
So we've got 2 outside backs on the bench. Interesting.
Do you remember back in the day, I think Sheens went through an era of playing wingers on the bench?
Yeah.
Bo Ryan kept getting picked on the bench.
Yeah.
I think he was in the squad for
Morale.
Yep. Yeah. And the current players most selected or voted to be in that 17, Appy.
Yep.
Which is pretty fantastic, and Samuela Finu.
Wow!
So big raps, big raps on the great man over the last few years. So
it's going to be interesting to see if they do this again at the 30-year mark.
Yep.
You know, are there any changes? Do we see a couple of other blokes forcing their way in? But strong team.
Are there any you reckon would never drop it? Like Benji would never drop out, right?
Don't think so.
Unless Galvin has won us 4 comps in a row.
Yeah, if Galvin gets a 4-peat and signs a 10-year extension, I'd consider putting
Benji on the bench.
Benchy. Yes, I remember that era as well.
Well, there you go. Set of 6 for this week. Yep. Unpacked a fair bit there. A lot of good content in that set of 6 just then. So
very diverse, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, anyone you would have added in that team, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please. We'd love to know because obviously it was a tough race to get in there. Those top 5 players that were voted in there dominated the votes, but we'd love to know if there were any inclusions in there that you thought should have been in there that aren't. Strong team.
Yep.
I think you saw when Law and Draw Pod posted that team would definitely make a dent in the top 16.
They would.
Do you reckon they'd, at their peak, every single one of those 17, their grand final winning team?
Yep.
Yep.
Any year.
Any year, any team. Broken Panthers 4-peat, beat the Storm this year.
Yeah, there were no chance, Panthers against that team.
No chance. Let's go into the top 05 for this week. So top 05, we obviously count down 5 things about the Tigers that we want to remember from the last 25 years.
Yep. And then we clip it up, put it on TikTok, and people pour their heart and soul out about how they missed out on grand finals and various other things. So,
Lewis, Trey, if you want to keep that narrative going, if you want to send in a raw emotion to our TikTok inbox or Instagram inbox, tell us more about that story. We'd love to hear it. Yep. It'll definitely get a play.
I'd like to get him on.
I have a good feeling you're a bit of a character too. So
I get the feeling. Any 52-year-old on TikTok is going to be a good character.
That's true. And we want them on the show.
Yeah.
And if you've got a goatee, even better.
Yep. For Galvin. Goatees for Galvin.
For Galvin, obviously.
Get it trending. Let's go.
So I'm going to start with, the theme for this week.
Yep.
The top 05 one-off jerseys, alternate jerseys that we've ever worn in our history. So
love it.
These are jerseys we've only ever worn for one game, so they obviously represent something special to the club or to the league in a theme sense. They're all quite unique, and obviously jerseys are subjective. So these are my top 05, but if you do have any alternates, please let us know. Same in the comments.
Yep.
The first one is the 2018 Indigenous jersey.
Yep.
Absolute cracker. Now, this was the 3rd iteration of the West Tigers Indigenous jersey. We have colours that work well with Indigenous designs.
Yes.
So they're really warm colours. Obviously, the black and the orange and the white work super well together. So this unique jersey was designed by an Indigenous artist called Vicky Golding. She was a West Tigers member as well. And she's actually the mother of Dennis Golding, who designed the first 2 West Tigers jerseys. So kept it in the family, which is pretty fantastic.
Yep.
Now, we wore this in round 10 against the North Queensland Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval, and we won in 2018, 20-12. So this is a lucky jersey.
Like it.
Tries to Brooksy, Isan Masters.
Oh, yes. Centre of the year.
Centre of the year. Yep. Could kick goals as well.
Number 7 for the Cook Islands.
Yeah. Versatile. Did drop off massively when he left the Tigers. So your fault, Isan.
The exception to the rule.
yeah, totally. Noffa also dropped off when he left the Tigers.
Yes.
Apart from making the finals with Melbourne.
Yep.
And Malachi Watene-Zelezniak.
Oh, yes.
Great player.
I remember that year. Now, you know, if you get a chance to walk around in the Zurich Centre or the Centre of Excellence, you will see all of the Indigenous jerseys that are framed and hung up along one of the corridors.
Right.
On the way down to, if memory serves, the podcast studio, which is fantastic to see. And you're right. I think all of us said when we were in there the other day that just the colour scheme of the West Tigers, they work so well for the Indigenous jerseys. We do them very, very well.
We do.
Yeah.
And I love that we got
the pick of the litter.
I love that we get the members to do it, Indigenous members that are part of the team to do it. It looks fantastic. Now, number 2, the 2024, so last year, Women in League jersey.
Yep.
Now, this one is an absolute cracker. It's got the gradient that you might find in a PowerPoint presentation.
Yep.
Goes orange,
PowerPoint guy.
pink. I'm a huge PowerPoint guy.
Orange. Designed our logo in PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, I think we were talking about Canva and Photoshop and professional programs. But
neither of us knew how to use it. So
PowerPoint for me all the way.
Hit to your forehand. Little peek behind the content curtain here, folks at home.
Don't reveal too much. Orange, pink. So orange, pink, purple into black. So a really nice gradient up the Tigers jersey. But the classy bit is there's the chevron has been turned into a W.
Yep.
Which could be for West, could be for women.
Yep.
Who knows?
For both.
Probably for both.
Yeah.
It looks really, really good. Now, this was worn last year against the Cowboys as well. We like wearing good jerseys against the Cowboys. We scored 30 points, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
They scored 48, unfortunately. Okay. So, we won't talk too much about that. The unfortunate thing there is Justin Olam was sent off in the 49th minute.
That's right.
High shot.
We were robbed.
I think he absolutely killed someone.
Yeah.
From memory.
Yep. That was at Leichhardt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. No, I remember saying at the time, I thought that was stiff. And someone standing next to me goes, that was absolutely not stiff.
Stiff arm, more like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 3. Now, this really puts lead in the pencil for me.
Oh, my
I'm a huge James Bond fan.
Yeah.
I'm a huge collaboration fan. I'm a huge branding exercise fan, marketing fan. The Skyfall jersey of 2013. So there's a Meriton logo on there that doesn't even take away from how good the Skyfall logo is on the center of the Tigers jersey. So Skyfall, obviously a movie that came out, 007 movie in 2013.
Yep.
Whoever did this deal, hats off to you. Members hat off to you. That was unbelievable integration and big 007 logo. I'd kill for one of these jerseys. Even Bingo Bin's logos on the sleeves.
Yeah.
So,
what do we get? Yeah, if anyone's got one of them, reach out, please. It does looks pretty good. It'd be interesting to get Cody Totes' thoughts on this as a graphic designer. Whether or not it might be a little bit too busy with a couple of logos with font on them.
Yep.
But hey, hell of a jersey. Geez. And it's got that little, how would you describe that little gun hole thing that kind of appears on all those?
Probably call it a gun hole.
Gun hole.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
we'll pop it up on the screen. You'll get the gist of it, folks. But hell of a jersey.
Hell of a jersey, and we won in it too. So 31-18 winners over Parramatta Eels.
Love that.
So 2 tries to Rowdy, Chris Lawrence, Blake Ashford.
Yep.
Great player back in the day. Benji scored a try, and Timmy Moulton.
The buyer's agent.
Yeah, and one of the greatest winning fullbacks of the West Tigers. Random stats guy put out a post the other day, friend of the show.
Very close friend of the show, yeah.
Put out a stat the other day saying Tim Moulton's the Tigers' most winningest fullback.
Wow.
So there you go.
Some great fullbacks to play as well. And he would have looked fantastic in that Skyfall. He comes up well, Tim Moulton.
He did. Good Central Coast product.
Looks exceptional in a bag of fruit, and I think that's why he's been a natural fit in the real estate game.
And then the James Bond, who wears suits and tuxedos.
That's right. That's the synergy.
This is what I mean.
Yeah.
This jersey had everything. Number 4. Now, we talked about our colours being really good for the Indigenous jersey.
Yep.
Our colours are really good for the Anzac jersey too, because that orangey black mix is very Dawn.
It is.
As in the start of the day.
It is.
Yeah. Not the area from Game of Thrones. So pretty niche reference there, sorry.
Dawn Fraser, former number 1 ticket.
Dawn Fraser, there we go. That would have made way more sense. Silhouette of a man with a bugle, blowing on the bugle next to a cross. Just a classy Anzac Day jersey, this one.
It's a good one.
Really, I guess, we might be more remembered for the one with the Black Hawk helicopter that we never wore. We never wore that one.
It is worth touching on that one because it was a pretty moment. It was a very talkable jersey, which we never wore.
Yep, dark times of the Tigers too.
Dark time, not our best time. This one was a bit of a straw that broke the camel's back from memory on a few issues. But yes, it was. It had the US military aircraft on it
with a big heavy machinery gun on
heavy machinery
on the back of his shoulders.
There was a lot. I much prefer this Anzac jersey.
2021, this one was. Yep. It's just very, very classy. I love everything about it. It's a great nod to what that weekend represents, which is fantastic. The only downfall is we got absolutely creamed.
That's right.
It was a very, very harsh lesson taught to us by the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles.
Yes.
Luciano Leilua scored a try that day, though.
Yep.
And Dewey kicked a goal. He played for us in 2021. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, we were playing in the halves at that point in time. But,
part of the furniture, AD.
We learned 6 points to 40 at the hands of the Seagulls that day.
At Combank Stadium. One of our 5 home grounds.
One of our 5, yet again.
Back then it was.
Good to be back.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic jersey. Not a great result.
No.
But at number 05, I've got, and this is more representative of the great times of the West Tigers, the 2006 World Club Challenge jersey.
Yep.
Obviously wore this once. This jersey has everything. It is one of the greatest jerseys
Almost
I've ever
has
seen.
too much.
Well, depends. Back in the mid-2000s, these kind of designs were very crash hot, right? So look at the 05 jersey, sitting beautifully in the middle of the table there. It has
Perfection.
the stripes / claw marks down the side, down the ribs.
Yep.
It's got the honeycomb kind of flying up the sides as well. It's the debut of the Proton cars.
It is.
Learned today that Proton Cars left Australia in 2017.
Yep.
So don't know whether that was due to spending too much money on the Tigers sponsorship on the front of the jersey.
They were loyal partners for quite a while, weren't they?
Yep, they were loyal. They were super loyal.
Yep.
And they were not intrusive towards the end as well. They just wrote Proton Cars.
This particular logo, it does look like a car badge. It's just been kind of like those things that they like brand cattle with. They've just kind of like seared it onto the.
That's
front
right.
end.
Yeah, they were still figuring it out at this point.
The claws down the side there's a bit going on there.
There's a bit going on. There's also claws on the shoulders. Waka noodles on the sleeves, so they stayed on from 2005 to 2006.
Love to see that.
There's a mini chevron on there. There's some curvy black lines, some orange. Cody Totes, if you've got any thoughts on this jersey as well, I just love it because there's so much going on.
Yep.
Maybe too much because we got beat and we were a bit distracted looking at the jersey.
Too much for me.
Bradford Bulls.
Yep.
Bradford
Marcus
Bulls.
Bye who scored a double?
Marcus Bye got a double.
Oh my God.
Stuart Fielding got a double. Stanley Genne, do you remember him? Played for Papua New Guinea.
I don't.
Oh, he played in a World Cup and I think he was about 36.
Yep.
And he was playing halfback or 5'8". So he scored a try as well. And Yeaston Harris.
Yeaston. We have a problem.
He kicked 5 from 6. Meanwhile, Daniel Fitzhenry and Hodjo, friend of Hammy, scored as well. But that rounds out the top 05 for this week.
That was played at Gal Farm, spelled with a PH.
Huddersfield. Yeah, that was in Huddersfield. So 30 to 10.
30 points to 10 in their one and only attempt in the club challenge.
It'll be interesting to see how we go in the World Club Challenge next year.
It will be.
Yeah, we won't withdraw like Penrith did.
No.
I'd say we'll be up against, say, St Helens or a Leeds.
We don't withdraw,
like
we win, learn, or draw. That's our philosophy at the West Tigers.
Fantastic. That's the top 05.
Well done.
Yeah, cheers.
A lot of very good images there. We'll obviously have to send them over to Maddie to incorporate, but it's a real good trip down memory lane.
If anyone has any, I know there's a few jersey enthusiasts that follow the pod and stick on the stick some comments and inboxes in for the Win, Learn or Draw pod. If you have any of these jerseys and they're available, would love to diversify the offering we have here on the podcast dressing. Even my own wardrobe. Would love to wear any of them at any time.
Yep.
Given their rarity, I would understand if you're asking for $1 million, but I can trade you off in Waka Noodles.
Need Waka Noodles to jump on board.
So it should be fine.
Yep.
Let's jump into what I thought might be the favourite segment of the show of the West Tigers employees, but nonetheless, it's one of our favourite segments of the show.
Yep.
Raw Emotion, R-O-A-R.
It's spelled R-O-A-R, folks, because it's
Why
the
is
noise
that?
that a tiger makes, and it's a clever double entendre on the raw emotion that R-A-W that you may feel at the conclusion of a game.
Right, thank you.
We love hearing these. If you want to send one to us, just jump in the Instagram DMs, send us a voice note. If you can't do it, just go, hey, boys, can't send it in, and we just accept you. Very simple process after that. Loving having them come in. We've got a couple here today. We're going to kick off with Timmy Stanton. So over to you, Timbo.
Let's go, Timmy.
Boys, just got back to the car after leaving the Lang Park Lecture Hall at Suncorp A&M University. Tough lesson tonight. I think what I learned the most, and I'm hoping the boys learned the most from, is we just can't let teams take advantage of our mistakes like the Broncos did tonight.
Yep. Yeah.
Over half their points were scored as a direct result from our own mistakes, whether it be drop balls or 20-metre restarts, bad penalties. But JFTA, Petrochemical engine room played well. I thought the young halves played great. I don't think anyone played badly. it's just we can't keep letting teams take advantage of our own mistakes. So hopefully the boys look at the tape and learn the same lessons that I did tonight. But plenty of hope and optimism left for the rest of the season. Keep up the good work, lads. Up the Tigers.
Yeah, good stuff from Tim.
Wow, that's really good stuff from
Great
Timmy.
year. And just the referring to the institution that we learned at, the Suncorp.
Well, it is one of our home grounds. So
one of our 5.
Everything's a learning institution that sits under the West Tigers home ground banner.
Yep.
Lang Park Lecture Hall is fantastic.
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Good call. Tough place to go to. It's a tough lecture hall. So when we play teams like that, he's absolutely right.
Yep.
We can't let them capitalise on our mistakes. Maybe we just shouldn't make any mistakes.
That's a great learning as well.
Yeah.
But Tim, shout out to you, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Good to see you. Again, we've spoken about, we've got fans in Japan, Korea, the UAE, and Brisbane as well. So
yes,
right around the world. Good to see him getting out to the game as well.
Yep.
Which we love.
Hope you enjoyed it, Tim.
I love those ones where people are at games or leaving games and stuff like that. So we feel like we've got a bit of a presence there as well. That just adds another layer to the raw emotion.
Feel like it's the best time to spill your guts with some raw emotion straight after the game, after you've left the stadium.
Speaking of spilling guts, friend of the raw emotion segment, Reece Smith has chimed in once again.
Go on, Schmitty.
Let's hear from him now. Oop.
What's the difference between Selwyn Colo and Tom Brady? Nothing. They both pass the ball forward. It's Newcastle, Reece Smith, Tiger supporter. Not happy with this outcome here. This is raw emotion. RAOR, if that's how you spell it. 36-18 with 17 minutes to go. I'm calling a robbery.
Oh, Schmitty.
Some of his best.
That is one of your best.
I respond straight away. I said top drawer as usual.
RAOR is my...
Yeah. If that's how you spell it.
That was so good, Schmitty.
Good
you are one of the best tiger growlers I've ever heard as well. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Add that, if you see us out in the wild, add that to your tiger
honestly
celebration.
Oh, that brought a little tear to my eye.
No, it was good stuff. We've got a two-parter here from Jaden Taylor. Let's hear from him.
Two-parter.
Hey, boys. Well, where do I even start? I don't even know if I can swear on this, but where do I start? Like, I always thought we were a second-half team. I thought, you know what? We're down. If only our kickers could kick.
Touch on that.
Yeah.
Taylor and Appy. And yeah. I don't even know where to begin. Do I begin talking about the refereeing? Do I begin talking about our defence and something? Do I talk about Jesse Arthur's deciding to drop the ball on the line and then the ref goes, oh yeah, let's give that a try. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, and how are we? Is it Brisbane Broncos or Denver Broncos? Like, is this NRL? Like that forward pass to Billy Walters. Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly.
He's warming up.
Tigers. I feel like we're a decent top 12 team this year. Like,
oh,
okay,
lofty standards.
Loss of the year, and that ref, we've got a nickname for him, Spider Pig.
Spider Pig. You might have lost me there, but I do like his point about the Denver Broncos, and a great point about Jesse Arthur as well. I mean, I thought we were playing the Brisbane Broncos, not the Brisbane Bullets, dribbling the ball around in goal there.
Nice. Yeah, good call.
Anyway, there is a second part to this, so let's back over to Jaden.
Oh yeah, don't know if I mentioned I am at an 18th. I'm 21 or 22 actually, and I'm so blind. I've never sworn so much in my life about referees, apart from the Warriors game. Yeah.
So last week.
Tigers for life. Win, learn, or draw, boys. Hopefully you can add that to the other voice memo when you post me.
Hey, Jado.
Love it.
Very, very good stuff, Jado. There's a lot of passion there.
There is a lot.
You can tell. A couple of West Tigers bitters poured down the gullet there, I would have to imagine.
Yep.
Well, he admitted it.
Yep.
Probably carved out 2 hours to watch the Tigers at an 18th as well.
Which I respect.
Yep. As a 22-year-old at an 18th as well.
Well, it's a power play, isn't it?
It
I'm
is.
4 years older than you little whippersnappers. I'll have control of the TV.
It's a bit Lewis Trey on TikTok as a 52-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
just
is.
like
It is.
the confidence to do that is just amazing.
Yep.
And then to cut away from the 18th, send 2 raw emotion voice notes. Well done, Jado. Definite friend of the show.
He's hoping that Jaden's brother doesn't put a wedding on the next West Tigers Grand
No.
Final game.
Yes.
But we'll see how that unfolds. Over to Ryan Douglas now.
Dougie.
Hey fellas, another lesson at Suncorp University. Not ideal, but what can you do? Don't really know where it went wrong. I think it was just credit to Brisbane's class. They got us through the middle and their two old halves ran havoc, but also didn't help that a former West Tigers teacher was in the box on the other side, Michael McLaughlin. But anyway, yeah, just disappointed, another loss, but what can you do? We learn from this, and we come back stronger against the Knights next week.
We do. Good point from Ryan there, and a good point about the teacher. Yeah, I forgot about that, about Madge being in the opposing box.
Yeah, Michael McGuire Cup. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he's obviously whipped them right into shape, the Broncos. They're on a bit of a roll. We've mentioned it numerous times, and Dougie mentioned it as well. Suncorp University, the Lang Park Lecture Hall, it was always going to be a tough place to go.
Yep.
You know, if we can put that down as a lesson, I think at the start of the year, if we were going through the schedule, we probably would have put a lesson next to that.
It would have been identified.
As a learning experience. And
exam.
I feel like we came out of it the other end with 24 points, 5 tries.
Yep.
Maybe we leaked a few too many, but it's still some good lessons learned up there.
Absolutely. Sounds like you've been yelling a lot at the TV there, Ryan Douglas, as well, which we love.
Yeah.
That's the raw emotion we're after. He's been through it. He's been through the ringer watching the game. Hang in there, mate. Now, last one we've got for today is friend of the segment, Thomas Backfence Brown. He comes to us with a song. Can you give songwriting credits to my little brother Arlo? Took us 2 days to write it. He's 12 and loves the potty. So, Arlo, thank you.
Arlo, good on you, mate. I feel like I'm picturing them sitting in a room, kind of like Dr. Dre, Eminem.
Yeah.
Just really, like, we're getting stuck in here. We're not leaving this room until we produce a song that's of good enough quality to get played on the Win, Learn or Draw podcast.
And that's exactly what they've done. He's also shaved in little goatees for Galvin as well, Backfence Brown, which we love to see.
Wow.
Really going all in on the pod.
Really is a friend of the pod.
It's over to you, Backfence Brown. What do you got for us?
Let's go, Brownie.
After a big loss, I thought, why don't I do something to try and cheer up the boys? This song is called The Man on the Tigers. They've got Jarimbula, Dewey and the Sabot, the real big three. Got rid of Clemmer because they needed change. So you've got to say his name. His name is the Sabot. I'm talking about the man on the Tigers. I'm asking you to say his name. No second rower can play any better. If you want to win the game, then get him the ball and watch the Tigers go, go, go. I'm talking about the man on the Tigers, Sabot. I'm asking you to say his name. Alex Sabot, he plays with pure, raw emotion. His hair's on fire, so's his heart. He's a new big red, he's the Sabot.
Oh, my goodness.
2040 West Tigers till I die. Let's bloody go.
Wow.
There we go. Hang it in the Louvre.
Yeah, or at least get it in the Billboard Hottest 100. That was fantastic.
Yep.
Triple J Hottest 100. You are a man of many talents, Backfence Brown.
Yep.
So are you,
And
Arlo. Yeah, Arlo.
Yep.
Obviously, Michael Jackson did a lot of performing with his brothers as well.
Yep.
So he's taken a leaf out of his book. I would encourage more songs, to be honest, after that.
I would agree with that. Completely agree.
If you can share the lyrics with us as well, that would be fantastic.
That'd be good.
But
We'll try and get it trending.
I'm really surprised he sang about the Sabaj.
The Sabaj. He's got a bit of a thing for Sabaj, hasn't he? And he made some good points there about getting him more of the ball. He probably had less of the ball this week than he's had in other games. 4 runs, 32 metres this week. Really quiet for Sabaj.
Yep.
Obviously, Jerome Luai wasn't playing. He was out of the side, which meant Galvin probably spent a bit less time going right as he has done a few times this year. So completely agree with the lyrics of that song. Let's get the ball to the Sabaj a little bit more. That's definitely a big learning for this week against the Knights.
Well done, Backfence. That was fantastic.
Good stuff. And keep them coming. Raw emotion. It's all about you guys. Want to hear from you. Get them in. Get your voice notes into the just the DMs on the Instagram page. But get them through this weekend. Should hopefully have a couple of positive ones, hopefully, after a brave win against the Knights.
Well, I'm feeling that. And I think it's about time after that batch of amazing raw emotion pieces to go into next week at Newcastle.
If that doesn't inspire the boys to go on a charge for the top 16, I don't know what will.
Now, I'm sure they all listen. And especially when Seyfarth hears that man in the mirror cover of Sabaj, he would be over the moon, and I reckon he'll score a try. There's your tip.
Wow,
There's your tip.
I like it.
I think he'll score a try this weekend, and I think we'll win. Let me just 1-12.
1-12? Yep. Not
What do you think?
Carried away. No, I'm with you. I'll take 1-12. I'm not greedy with these sort of things. Confident. They only beat us by 2 points in round one.
Just.
We're a little bit clunky, getting through things. They didn't score a single point on the weekend.
Yeah, how's this? They've scored 6 points in 3 weeks.
There you go.
So beaten by the Titans, 26-6.
Yep.
0-0 draw against the bye, and then 20-0 loss against Canterbury. So if we take the bye into account, which we should, because that's been in the last 3 weeks, they've scored 6 points at an average of 2 points a week, if my math serves me correctly.
Quick math, like it. So they're battling. We're still, yes, we concede a lot of points, but we're scoring plenty. Didn't concede that many against them. I'm confident. I'm feeling good about it.
Yep.
If we need some positive stats from Random Stats Guy, friend of the show, I said last night I was hitting him up for some other stuff. So can you give me some good news about the Tigers, some good stats to sink my teeth into, because I need that dopamine hit, need my pencil nice and full for the next game against the Knights. So hopefully you guys enjoy these as well. The Tigers have won 6 of their last 10 Sunday Arvo games in Newcastle. We're going to 60%, which will take...
Wow, that's almost Sydney Showground levels.
Yeah, right up there. So that's one to take into account. Luai has only lost 1 of his 10 games against the Knights.
Wow.
So he's going at 90% against Newcastle Knights.
Oof.
He's also got a 4-0 record in round 6 games, Jerome Luai. Never lost in round 6. I like the sound of these stats, Rando.
Wow.
The Knights have lost 2 of their last 3 Sunday games on round 6, so they hate playing Sunday games on round 6. The stats are right there.
It's their bogey round.
So there's plenty of positive stats there for the Tigers fans. Thank you to Random Stats Guy.
Thank you, Random Stats Guy. There's a couple of other stats that I drilled up that aren't super random.
Okay.
They're not that pointed, but we've won more games at Newcastle against Newcastle than we have at home. So we like travelling up there.
Yep. They always try to pull this dodgy stuff on us where they wear the fluoro high-vis jersey and try to take the orange.
Happens to be the day that they admire mining. It's like, come on, fellas, stop trying to throw us off.
Yep.
They, 6 points in the last 3 weeks. We've scored 118 points across the season. Not in the last 3 weeks, but across the season. They've only scored 42.
Yeah, pathetic.
Bloodbath, in my opinion.
Yep.
And they've lost 3 absolute guns. Listen to these names. Jacob Saifidi.
Yep.
James Schiller.
Yep.
And Jack Hetherington.
Yep.
Triple J.
Triple J.
So without those 3, say Barge, man in the mirror. Vote now.
Vote now.
Without those 3, I can't see them winning.
Yeah.
Because
Triple J, hack with Tom Tilley. With those 3 exclusions.
Maybe we can get another shout out on a government radio station.
They said it couldn't be done. We've done it before.
We've done it before with Luke Metcalf. We could do it again. But yeah, I'm feeling confident. We've also only won away this year. So we love to travel. We talked about the bus and the boys getting on. They'll get on the bus up to Newey. They'll have a camaraderie session. Maybe they go out in the Steel City afterwards. But I'm feeling confident. Sunday Arvo 4:00 is our slot.
I like it.
We love that.
We've got a couple of these coming up in the next few weeks as well.
We're about $2.50, I think, to win as well. When we're at those odds, that's exactly where we like to play as well. So
100%.
Everything is falling into our basket here.
Couldn't agree more. 267. I mean, that's outrageous.
267.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no gambling man, but I might have a plunge on that.
Worth a look.
Yeah, worth a look.
Yeah.
Are you going up? No.
No, not. I will have to work on Sunday evening, so I won't be able to get there, but I will be watching very closely.
I will too. Yeah, I've got a Bucks party this weekend.
Bucks party?
Yeah.
Where's that one? Back to Adelaide?
Down in Nowra. You know,
I don't have time for this. I've got to go to Nowra.
The Mario Fenech reference is very valued.
If I come over to your place and fill your car up with ball pit balls, you'll know why.
Or Kirk Gidley does his ankle in front of me.
Oh, yeah,
You'll know why.
Or wrap your car up in Glad Wrap.
Yeah.
You'll know why.
Mario Fenech, friend of the show, by the way. But yeah, I'll be in now this weekend, so hopefully I'll see him there.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll be watching diligently on the TV.
And if you give someone with one arm a cup of tea on the weekend, don't give them a saucer with it. Would be my tip. this weekend.
And on that note, let's wrap it up, Hammy. The Win, Learn or Draw podcast, episode 6. All done, all dusted. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you sign up as a West Tigers member. Make sure you give us a like, give us a subscribe. It all counts, so please do it.
So close to 500 subscribers. Get us over the 500 mark on YouTube. Get us over the 1,000 mark on Insta, and maybe we'll reward the 500th and 1,000th followers respectively.
Who knows what with. But yeah, spread the word. Spread the word of the Win, Learn or Draw podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And top 16.
Here we come.
Cheers.